Oh!
More robust
Business
and
results.
active development. Performance evaluation
I had to
of
guess
each
his
supervisor
breath
and
is Fruit
manager,
Loops.
including all of my direct reports.
No!
That
We got a
will
job!
be
We
involved
work for
in the P.M.P.
Dave!
process.
Alright, let's see how we're going to waste each other's time today. I keep thinking I'm going to find found footage. I really am hopeful. You never know, each tape that you find, who knows, it's a treasure trove, it's a claw machine grabbing something. However, I'm not a Judgy McJudgerson, I'll tell you that, but I've seen the thumbnail looking at me, and I have a feeling this is not going to be what's going to be the next Blair Witch, the next Paranormal Activity, the next blah, 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 blah. But I don't want to judge a video by its cover. Never. Not me. Nope, nope, nope. So, without further ado, this is what you chose to click on. I got all this going on. I obviously have something. There's a problem here. Okay. Ready? Close your eyes and just take it all in. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hello, I'm Dave Reeves, Vice President of Marketing.
It's already
I'd
starting
like to
off well, isn't it?
take just a couple of minutes of your time again.
Thank you,
today.
Dave.
The last time I came out on a net show, I was talking about issues common to every employee in marketing, and that was safety and the loss prevention system. Today, I'd like to shift the focus a little bit and talk about the new P.M.P. process.
The
Back in
P.M.P.
April,
process, all right.
we sent out a letter
Can't
that
wait.
most of you or all of you should have received,
I want a letter from old
describing
Dave.
the fact that marketing is adopting and piloting on behalf of the corporation the new P.M.P. and personnel leadership development
I don't know what I heard
tools.
about him, but I know something
in
about a
the year
P.M.P. and it comes from
We
old
decided
Davey Reeves.
to adopt these early, one, to get the benefit of the tools,
what is
and
this?
two, so
Why
that
do
we
I
could
have
provide
this?
feedback to the corporation so we could end
I'll let
up
him.
corporate-wide
I'll let him come up with it though.
with the best possible
trust him.
set of tools to measure
I
and
trust
manage
him.
performance and develop our folks. Overall, these tools are intended to give more focus and accountability for delivering business results, a
Oh!
more robust
Business
and
results.
active development program for all employees, not
Okay.
just high potential employees, but for all employees
Yeah.
in the organization.
Thank you, Dave.
In that April letter, we asked for feedback, and
I
rather
like
than
how he
reiterate
kinda
everything and all the
skits
details
out
of the
on me.
letter
It's
that we sent
interesting.
out, what I'd really like to spend a few moments on is giving back to the organization the feedback
Yes.
that we've received
Uh-huh.
since the letter went out.
I want to read the letter. Does anyone have the PIMP letter?
Feedback I'd like to
The
give you first, and
PIP
then I'd like
letter.
to get into some of the opportunities or questions.
Wow!
Going down the list,
Yeah.
the feedback we got is that performance agreements between
there's a
employees and their
big
supervisors
plastic bag
are
behind
good,
me.
and it focuses us on business results, gives us alignment.
Yeah,
That's positive.
that's good, Dave.
People like the fact that this
I
is
like
a simpler
alignment.
process and there's consistency
so
across
simple.
the organization.
This guy.
They like the accountability for results.
He's
That's
very
good. They like feedback on their own
I
performance
like it too, Dave.
relative to their peer group.
We're all paying attention
And
here.
People like the fact that we're taking development seriously.
He's got
which we are.
good public
Now,
speaking
in the
skills.
opportunities
Now, he's not
and
speaking in
questions
public
area,
or
what I'd
nothing.
like to do is
But you just gotta
summarize,
kind of
and then I'll
imagine
go
it.
back and address each one individually with our perspective.
I can
my
picture
own
Dave being a
personal
counselor.
perspective.
He could help
First,
me with my
there's,
problems.
I think rightfully so, an observation
I think
that
so,
the P.M.P.
too.
process has been
What is the
applied
P.M.P.
somewhat
process?
inconsistently or
Does
unevenly
anyone know what it is?
in the past in marketing. And so why
Hey,
should
neighbor.
people expect that this should be
You heard of the
any
P.M.P.
different?
process?
I'll get to that in a minute.
I don't know.
People
Dave
have said that
Reeves
there's,
is telling
that
me all
the
about
rating
it, though.
system tends to take
It's
away
got a
their
rating system in
uniqueness
it.
as individuals and tends to put
Yeah, you can
people
rate
in,
things.
in buckets
What'd
or
you say?
groups. Thirdly,
Get off of my
there's
show!
some confusion that the 3x3 matrix, which is a leadership development tool, It's being perceived somewhat as a
need
promotions
something?
list, or if you're not in certain quadrants
It's
of the
rating
box, then you're
system.
not promoted.
What did you hear? Dave
that.
Reeves is an innocent
There's
man.
also an issue that
He's
in the
got
3x3
gorgeous
matrix, which is
hair,
really just
lovely,
distributing
and his
the praise into
glasses
certain,
are like dreamy.
segments of the 3x3 matrix.
He would never do that. He's
That
a
being
credible
in the
man.
left-hand column, which is really the lower.
I'm getting
the lower
demonetized for
performing
sure. I'm never going to be
employees
100 air
relative
with
to
you
their peer
guys
group.
around.
But that's something of a no man's land, and
I
I'd
don't
like to
think
take
that
away
about
some
you,
of the
Dave.
mystery about that column or that.
That's
sector
some
of,
immaturity around here. That's what I
relevant
hear.
Performance. And lastly, there's been expressed
Time to
some
grow up,
concerns
kids.
that P.M.P could be used and will be used in the selection process for jobs
I don't know what
in the
you heard
future.
about him.
Not this
That's
year,
all I keep
but in the
thinking.
future. So let me
The
go back and
P.M.P.
address
process.
each one of those.
Oh no.
The first one being that P.M.P has been
Yeah.
applied inconsistently in the past.
Oh, has it now?
I think that's true, and I think that's really the leadership
Yeah.
of the organization's fault for not setting expectations clearly or asking everybody involved in the P.M.P.
Yeah.
process to live up
P.M.P.
to our
process,
expectations.
son.
The
So I got a little
expectation
scarf.
that I have, that the MLT has
I like it.
adopted
Look a
and
bit
reinforced,
sophisticated
is
to meet
that
a man like
every
Dave.
person in a supervisory or managerial position will execute their responsibilities under the new P.M.P.
Yep,
P.M.P. process
execute things.
in 2000.
I'm
We're
with it.
seeking 100% application,
it.
and it is going to be a performance evaluation
Trying to
of
guess
each
his breath
supervisor
is
and
Fruit
manager,
Loops.
including all of my direct reports,
Seems like he would have Fruit
and me,
Loops. What do you think?
and that the MLT,
Or is he a Honey
as
Nut
part of
Cheerio
our
type of guy?
oversight
Definitely something
for personnel
Kellogg
issues,
related.
will be monitoring the application of P.M.P. in the year 2000.
Yeah.
the
2000. Well, that's
expectation.
the future,
I'll
buddy.
give you a report at the end of the year how
All
we
right.
did.
Look, he's happy.
Second, on the rating system,
I like when he
guess no
swallows.
rating
I can see
system,
it all the way
if
down.
you call the P.M.P. A rating system, is perfect. However, it does help us establish
Does it help,
criteria by
yeah?
which to view people
criteria. You
against
gotta
a
have that
common
with the
framework.
That's
what
P.M.P.
P.M.P.
process.
is in terms of
Yep,
its relative
P.M.P.
performance against peer group, and that's what the 3x3 process is. It's a way of categorizing
I bet the people that heard
high,
this
medium, and low performance.
We're even kind of like,
high, medium, and low
I don't know.
capacity for
This
leadership.
isn't so entertaining.
It is
Glad I'm not
intended,
doing this
and I don't believe it
voluntarily.
will take
That
away
is part
the
of my
local
job.
PDC's knowledge of each individual and their unique
Does he
ability
blink?
to contribute. Remember that the local PDCs are where pay determination exists, and the local PDC are the folks that distribute people into the various sectors
He's not
of
blinking!
the 3x3 matrix.
I'm in over my head.
I
Ah!
don't believe any rating system is perfect, but I don't think
He's
this one is
good.
any worse
Let's count blinks.
than
That was
others
one
that we have
since I
used.
started
I
counting.
think the most important thing
One.
to remember is there's still local knowledge of the unique contributions of every employee.
Oh, I think I saw
The
a
next
second
one,
one. I
the
was going to go
3x3
with 2
matrix,
since I started
think
counting.
is and probably will be for the remainder of the year and for a while a little bit misunderstood because people are a little bit suspicious
Oh, yeah, a little
by
misunderstood.
nature about being categorized.
Yeah,
Let me
don't
first
you
reiterate
categorize
that
me,
the
Dave.
purpose of the 3x3 matrix
You can
is
put me
to
in with all the
allow
normal folks.
those of us
I'm not a reject.
trying to decide who the future leaders of the organization will be
What's going on back here?
against a set of criteria. And
I
once
missed
we
the blink. Oh,
decide
3-4.
and
Pow!
identify folks that really have the capacity to lead the organization in the future,
Oh,
to
Dave
then
Reeves.
hold
See what
ourselves
we got here.
accountable to applying development
Mayor, if I take this?
resources so that they have the capability of actually reaching their capacity. Focusing on high
We're watching
potential
Dave
folks
Reeves
is a
here, friend.
necessary part of creating
wanna be a part of
future
this.
leadership. It is not intended to diminish our focus on the
Nobody wants
development
to be a
needs
part of this.
of every
But Dave
employee.
Reeves,
And
me
in
and
fact,
Reeves
as
here
go
feel like we
forward,
got
it's
something
our
good going on.
expectation that each employee in marketing will have development goals and therefore
Yep,
development
development
plans
goals.
agreed to between themselves
part of this whole
and their
backyard Red
supervisors.
Wing scenario is
So
Jolie
even though the
dresses
3x3
ref.
process is a way of high potential employees to set the future leadership course of the
Hey,
organization
gotta bleep
in
that
motion, it is not intended to exclude. Now, it's also been perceived that it is the quote-unquote promotions list, which means, gee, if you're not in the high potential list, you can't get promoted.
Nope.
I can tell you that's not the case.
high
If you
potential
look
list
at
there,
any period
Dave.
in our history, people on the high
This is a
potential
secret.
list
This
are
may be like
given
some secret
unique
government thing.
opportunities,
What job
but
do you
they
think
make
this
up
is?
a relatively small
I have a few
proportion
guesses.
of the actual promotions.
I
in an
don't
organization.
think it is Chuck
I
E.
think if you look
Cheese.
in any
What if this is Build-A-Bear?
if you look at history, if you look at just the past 6 months.
What if this is the secret to how the
take my
rating
words
system
and test
works
it
at
against the bulletin
Build-A-Bear?
board,
Because who
I
hadn't
think
met
you'll see that the
somebody,
vast
you know?
number of
You
promotions
see them,
and
they're
job changes
exhausted.
aren't related
Got
to any high potential
the
list.
6 o'clock shadow
They're
on the
related
face.
to the best
Hitting
candidate
the bar,
for the
perhaps.
job at hand.
And I said, man, I've been doing so much overtime, I'm overworked.
I guess the next
Oh, I just need a
point
day
that I'd
off.
like
And
to
you
make
say,
on
where
the
do you work? And they say, Build-A-Bear.
3x3
Yeah.
process is going back to the distribution of the folks.
It is sure to get
I
you
personally
a...
believe that any
what?
peer group has a natural distribution.
I think
And
it's
the
spelled
P.M.P.
word
process
on
as
me.
laid out is intended to
I
focus
like the P.M.P.
the high
process.
performing roughly 15% and the low performing relatively
6 blinks
15%.
It's
It's
6
done
blinks
for determination
since I started
purposes,
counting
it's
and
done for
paid
development
attention. Every time I paid
reasons, it's
attention,
done
I'm
to
on 6
address
blinks.
performance problems. However, being in the
Seven.
low performing
Look at the gloss.
15%
You see it? It's almost like you
isn't
could lick it off
always
his head.
necessarily a bad thing. I'd like to give you
Dave,
two
I'm going to
examples
lick
to
your
clarify
forehead,
that.
Dave.
The obvious one is
You can
if you
smell the
if we
sweat,
have
and you know it
employees that
smells
relative
nice.
to their peers do in fact
He's the type of
perform
guy that
poorly
doesn't
over
get back
time,
knee.
then we need to address that issue. We need to either give them a development opportunity or deal with it as a
7
performance
blinks.
problem.
And
However,
look, he
conversely,
flosses very
there's good
well.
reasons to be in that low 15%.
Yep,
Because in an environment where we're
15%.
focusing on the development of our people and stretching them into new,
Oh my
new
goodness.
areas and new areas of
Dave.
responsibility, I would expect those folks on an absolute basis, relative
Dave.
to peers that have been in those jobs
Dave,
for some
say
time,
something else about the
perform
PIMP process, the
relatively
P.M.P.
poorly in the beginning. Not in all cases, but it shouldn't be
Dave takes care of his.
perceived that
You don't walk
new employees in
blindly on Dave
assignments,
Street, Mr. Reeves.
I don't expect
This
they're
said
going to
net
be top
show.
performers in the first few months. And if that
Wonder
means
what
that we
show this
assess people
was.
at the low end of a 3x3 matrix, because they're in new jobs and being given unique opportunities,
Yep, I
I
agree.
think that's good news.
Yeah, it's
not
good
bad
news.
So,
Not
I
bad.
guess in summary,
That
to
is good news.
particular perspective, I'd like you
I
to keep
agree.
an open mind. That being in that left-hand column or the low 15%, listen to the conversation.
It's thrilling content.
And don't automatically assume it's bad.
Oh,
It
Dave.
can be good.
You know how many views I'm going to get
I
off
know
of this? Me and you,
I'm kind
Dave.
Of, fighting history here in setting
Yeah.
expectations about what that low 15% is.
Boy,
That's
I
how I
get
view
my
it, and
money's
I'd like
worth.
us to begin having the dialogue in the context that I just gave you. Now,
Uh-huh.
lastly, the point about P.M.P. being used in job
Because
selection.
I don't know what you heard about Dave.
And that being a concern for folks. I guess what I'd like to do is acknowledge that I don't fully
Does that
understand
one eyebrow
how
look
that's
a
going
little
to
different
evolve
than the
yet
other one? It's
either.
like it's got this
And
cool little
before I give you
groove.
an answer
Unless
that
that's
I
his
could live to
glasses cutting it
regret,
off.
what I'd like to do is just acknowledge that we've gotten
And I like that little
feedback.
thing. See, when I had to blow, I had a little speck right there myself. Unless that's on my screen.
And before,
Not on my
before
camera.
we go about actually taking P.M.P. and incorporating the documents per se,
It's not. It's really there.
in any job selection
Why is his
process,
background
I
all
think we
good and
need to
mine's all
understand
goofy
those
looking? Look at that.
implications more than we
Dave,
do
you could
now.
come help
And we're gonna
me.
be working
You could tell me about
on
the
that
P.M.P.
throughout the
We'll talk
remainder
about
of the
that
year
all day
before we
long.
actually
Dude, we'll have
trigger
sandwiches
that kind
together.
of a
You have
circumstance.
bologna. I'll have turkey and Swiss.
So in summary, let me
No,
come back
PB and
say
J,
that,
Schmuckers, and you
marketing
leave
has
it out
decided
on
to be
your
an early
dashboard a little
adopter.
bit.
I think that's
Wait,
good
that's the
news.
grilled cheese ones.
The fact that the corporation has decided to focus
Dave,
on
I know you're ordering a
performance,
chicken salad sandwich.
accountability, leadership development.
But then
and
you could come set
development
this up for
overall
me,
of our
Dave.
employees,
You could help me
that's
with
a
the
good thing.
3x3 matrix
I'd
thing.
rather learn
But I was never a
quickly
fan
than be
of
the
them
recipient
things.
of a process, an important process
I like how your head is
this,
so big on this
without
screen.
having actively been
me try
engaged
it.
in its
I
development.
can't take up that much.
I also
gotta-
know that there's going to be questions, some uncertainty,
These.
some
And
fear
do
about
we-
any rating
rating
system.
system.
I
Oh,
guess
jinx!
at this point, I just have to ask for your indulgence, your
Yep.
engagement, your
I'll
active participation.
I will engage with you, Dave.
And your
I will
willingness to learn
participate with you,
along
Dave.
the leadership of
Yes,
marketing
sir, Dave.
about how best to apply these tools.
Yes,
They're
sir.
intended
I'll
to give
apply
us
these tools.
a
These
more
tools are going to be
capable,
great.
more fully
Oh,
functioning
yep,
organization
yep.
where people
I would
have
like
the
forward
opportunity
functioning
to really
organizations
live
of
up to their
people.
overall contributions and capability. Those are all good things. And let's dwell on the positive in this area and learn from this process as we go. And lastly, I just want to make sure that you as an employee have certain expectations.
No!
That
We got a job!
Be
We
involved
work
in
for
the P.M.P.
Dave!
process with your supervisor.
All day, Dave!
That
It's
you will
all
have
day!
accountability goals that you'll be measured against, that there will be a distribution of performance
and Dave and me.
at the end of the
No
year.
matter how he
and
rolls the dice,
given
it has
the
to be
opportunity to have a dialogue
me
with
and
your
Dave's
supervisor.
glasses.
Both
I would
about
even take his
your
glasses
relative
off and I'd wear them.
versus
And then
your
we could just
peers.
share them.
But also at the end of the year,
And
you
when
should
we take
expect
naps,
to ask for and
you probably
receive
take
direct
naps at Dave's
feedback about
job.
where you are in the 3x3
I wouldn't think
matrix.
so. Yeah.
Not engaging in the conversations isn't acceptable either the supervisor's perspective or the employee's perspective.
Not engaging in
Having the
conversations.
honest
Understood.
dialogue,
Yep.
getting
This man's quite the
alignment as to
engager.
where opportunities exist for your greater contribution or your development needs. Those are the tools that we have available to us to improve individual
Dave.
and organizational capability.
Oh boy.
Thanks for listening. Thanks
You're
for giving us
welcome.
the feedback so far.
Get a
You'll be
double
given more
thumbs up, Dave.
opportunities to give us
Yeah.
even more feedback
Yeah.
as the year goes on. And,
Yes, Dave.
We will not violate that
Never.
trust that you place
Thank you for
in
not
us
violating me,
to make
Dave.
sure that
I trust
in all of
you.
our personnel
I trust you, Dave.
policies
Did it look like I was
and-
looking at him?
and
I can't tell.
systems that we use judgment
I need like a
and
mirror.
we treat
The
people
mirror.
fairly. We
Yeah.
recognize their uniqueness and we give people opportunity to continue to develop.
Hey, you can't argue
and
with the guy's
contribute.
saying. He seems like a fair fella. I can't argue with old Dave here. Oh. Oh! He's still blinking. Look, he's still swallowing. Did you see that at the end? Did you see that swallow? Let's do it again. For those that missed it. For those that missed it, we're going to see that swallow at the end there. We got to see that one.
To give us even more feedback as the year goes on, and we will not violate that. trust
Why
that
is
you
it
place in us
doing
to make
that?
sure that in all of our personnel,
That's it. Come on now. I didn't click
we use
that.
judgment and we treat people fairly. We recognize their uniqueness, and we give people
Okay,
opportunity to continue to develop.
but that's not what I meant to do. See at the end? It's great. One more time, but not that goofy voice thing. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sorry. Should not be doing that. Should be it. We'll do it slower speed. That way I slow down that thing at the end, what he does with his neck. It is so cool, and then we're going to
Trust
stop.
that you place in us.
I'm not doing
to make
that.
sure
This isn't even a
in all of
joke.
our personnel,
But watch, right there in his
policies
throat.
and systems,
Right
that
there.
we use judgment and we treat people fairly. We recognize their uniqueness. And
Get
we
ready.
give people opportunity
Get ready.
to continue to develop.
Get ready.
and
Come on, Dave. Stop doing the voice. Just do the thing. Watch. He thinks it's done, but he's going to still be there. And then... Bloop, bloop. I like it! I wish I could do that. Well, anyway. I'm sorry. The next one may be better, but I make no promises. What am I going to do with this? What am I doing?